The most important news related to this great war is emerging. The big news of the moment is that the Great War in the Middle East is becoming more intense and raging. A major statement has been made by the Speaker of the House of Representatives on the war. Limiting President Trump's power is dangerous. The Speaker called it dangerous to limit his war powers. And a major statement from the US Speaker on the war. Does the US want to escalate this war? It seems so. The danger of limiting Trump's power was mentioned here by the US Speaker. Today is the fifth day of the Great War in the Middle East. On one hand, images of devastation are emerging from many countries, including Iran. On the other hand, another crisis is emerging. The name of this crisis is crude oil. Crude oil prices are continuously rising. And if this situation continues, the question arises, will the war bring a recession along with the oil shortage? On one hand, Iran and America are facing each other on the battlefield, while on the other hand, Iran and America's claims regarding the state are also contradictory. Amidst the war, Iran's Revolutionary Guard has declared that it will destroy any ship passing through this route, while the US claims that the world's busiest oil supply route is open. It's as difficult to accurately determine the validity of these claims as it is to predict how long the war will last. Now, consider the direct impact of this catastrophe that has been unfolding for the past 5 days. Crude oil prices are soaring in the heat of war. The price of crude oil in the international market has risen from $0 per barrel to $82 per barrel. This means that crude oil has become more expensive by $1 in just 5 days. Worryingly, if the war continues, it is projected to reach $1. This waterway in the Hormuz Strait is crucial for 20% of the world's oil trade. Notably, many importing countries, including India, are completely dependent on this waterway, with Japan being the first among them. 90% of Japan's oil consumption is imported, while China is the largest importer, accounting for 40 to 50% of its oil imports from Hormuz. India imports 85% of its oil, with 2.1 million barrels coming from Hormuz daily. Furthermore, 70 to 80% of South Korea's oil supply comes from Hormuz. This means that not only India but many countries around the world could face an oil crisis. It's another matter that people in countries like India may have to face the reality on the ground within the next 7 to 10 days. So, tankers and shipments currently in transit won't have any problems reaching the port. However, the arrival of new oil tankers, fruit tankers, other food and other commodities, and the arrival of new people and supplies will be affected. Therefore, 7 to 10 days won't make much of a difference. It's important to note that significant difficulties will only arise if the Middle East crisis persists and the war continues. In a war-like situation, import bills will rise, and petrol and diesel prices will rise not only in India but in many other countries. This crisis is being considered the biggest oil shock in decades. Because the closure of choke points like Hormuz directly impacts global energy supplies, all world powers therefore want to see this war end. This is in everyone's best interest. Bureau Report Z Media.